What about you? Yes, you can. You can be yourself and make new friends, because who doesn't want to make new friends? No one likes sitting in their room alone all day. All right, well, friends are good, okay? We want to make friends. All right, what else for you belong here? No one? What about you? Yes, connect with God. That's a huge one here at MSM. Yes. So you belong here. You're free to be yourself, and you can connect with God and make new friends. That's pretty awesome. So, as I said, we're going to continue our bold series, Living Boldly Through God, Monday through Saturday, every day of the week, living out his faith. And on our Instagram story, we posted a question, and we had a couple of people answer it. So, up on our board, we're going to post some student videos on how they are living boldly through Christ.
I said you can be bold by inviting your friends to squad night, and this is bold because you never know if your friends will question your faith or not, and you want to invite them, but you don't know if they'll decline your offer. And this can change your life because they'll want to follow Jesus's path, and they'll want to follow what you do because you brought in the whole church thing to them.
Trusting God is bold because he knows that you truly do love and care about him. And when you do something wrong, he'll support you in it no matter what. And if you tell him anything, he will not judge you or anything.
I said you can be bold by just choosing to have joy, and even in the tough situations, you can be that light for others. And even if they're Christian or not, you can still be that light for them and show, like, hey, look what Jesus can do in my life. I can be happy even during the tough times, and I know that I can get through it.
Yeah.
That's right. Give them a round of applause. Y'all, we have been in this series called Bold for a few weeks now, and it is finally coming to an end. Everybody say, aw. That's all right, because it's going to be a great morning that we have for you. But if y'all know, which book of the Bible are we looking through? Philippians, that's right. And we have challenged you with memorizing which Bible verse? Philippians 1:20. There you go. Philippians 1:20. So what we're going to do is we're going to throw the verse up on the screen. You know the drill. We are going to read it out loud together. If you are online and watching with us, try to see how fast you can keep up with the way that you're typing it up in the comments. I'm interested to see how this plays out. But we're going to read this out loud twice, and then we're going to get rid of all the words. All the words. And then we're going to see if you guys can remember them. Hey, fifth graders, how are y'all doing? All right, here we go. You ready? I know you guys just got in here. You had a slight disadvantage. Just read it along with us and then get that photographic memory working, all right? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. For I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold for Christ as I have in the past. And I trust that my life will bring honor to Christ whether I live or die. Philippians 1:20. Well done. All right, one more time. Do you feel slightly more comfortable right now? On a scale of 1 to 10, how comfortable are you with this Bible verse? 100. He's saying we don't need to read it a second time. Is that what you're saying? He's saying we don't need it. How many of y'all want to read it one more time? There's a few of us. That are honest. So I appreciate y'all. All right, here we go. One more time. 1, 2, 3. For I fully expect and hope that I will never be ashamed, but that I will continue to be bold for Christ as I have in the past. And I trust that my life will bring honor to Christ whether I live or die. Philippians 1:20. All right. Ian, get all those words out of there. We don't need them. Why don't we need them? Because we're bold. I love that. Because we know it. Hey, there we go. He said, for I fully expect. All right, count of three. Y'all are going to lead. I'm going to follow. 1, 2, 3. For I fully expect and know that I will never be ashamed. But I will continue to be bold for Christ as I have in the past. Hold on, Matthew, hold on. The tech people are freaking out. They're like, I can't get through the words. And I trust that my life will bring honor to Christ, whether I live or die. Wait. Big finish, because this is the part everybody knows. Where is the verse found? Philippians 1:20. Give yourselves a round of applause. But skip every third clap, just like you skipped every third word. You tried. You tried. Listen, guys. Listen, we're not going to quiz you on this anymore. Hey, listen up. We're not going to quiz you on this anymore, but we want to encourage you. Continue to try to memorize scripture. I would say continue to start here. You've already got a good base. Keep going, because guess what? This isn't just something that you memorize to say, oh, I know it and I can recite it. But this is a reminder for you that your life can be bold every single day and that you can bring honor to Christ every single day with the way that you live. Sound good? Sweet. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get ready to wrap up this series. And to do that, we have Heather Sullivan here with us. And some of you may be like, what's a Heather Sullivan? We have a video for you. So check out the bumper and then just keep staring at the screen.
Good morning, Tyler here, the middle school pastor at the Apex campus, and with me is Heather Sullivan.
Hi.
You have a new title.
I do.
What is it?
Family Ministry Director. Sometimes they throw the word senior in there.
Is it because of the gray hair? Well, hey, I thought it'd be a really cool idea because you're speaking this morning on humility,
Right.
For these students to get to know you, because they might not know you as well. And she is the boss of one of my bosses. So she is like in charge of infants through 12th grade here
I don't know how people should feel about that.
at Hope. Why?
I don't know. We'll find out in a minute.
This is going well so far.
Mhm.
We had a couple questions come through our Instagram story.
Okay.
One of them was, what is your favorite TV show to watch right now?
So you're going to find out that I'm more boring than what you ever imagined.
Impossible.
I don't really watch much TV right now or ever.
We're supposed to be relevant and effective.
Let me pick one then. WandaVision.
Nice. That's
Okay.
a relevant one.
All right, good.
Nice. Who's in it?
Um,
You have 2 kids.
I do.
Which one's your favorite?
Brady is probably my favorite.
Nice. Students, so you know your parents definitely have a favorite as well. I want to ask them.
Yeah.
Awesome. We had another statement come through. It was 4 questions, but Brandon from Morrisville asked, your Starbucks order is a chai latte with half the chai.
What's the question?
I don't know, but I thought maybe you would just know that. Is that an inside joke question?
I don't know. I can't read Brandon's mind.
No one can. And
Yeah.
Brandon, you need to figure out what a question is.
Yeah.
Maybe it was this. Starbucks order chai latte, but with half the chai?
Question mark?
Yeah, that's a question.
Yeah. Maybe when he read it out loud, it was a question. When he read it to Steve.
Yeah. He's really unsure of himself.
Yeah.
So everything he says is a question.
Yeah.
What is the boldest thing you've ever done?
Easy for me to say this was bold was going down the Daredevil drop at what's the water park in Greensboro, Emerald Point?
Hot dog.
Yeah. Other than that, teaching an entire room of people in Haiti who did not speak English, and I had never been in Haiti. I had never seen any of these people before, and definitely didn't know what I was doing.
They got as much out of that as these students will today.
Yeah, yeah, it's
Do not
awesome.
worry. So I was talking about humility.
That's so encouraging.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
I love that. Heather, one of the reasons that you're in the role is because your heart for young people. Again, birth through 12, right? My heart is only for 6 to 8.
Great.
I don't want anything to do with infants.
Yeah.
Actually, that's one of the questions I have for God when I die is, why are we the only like animal species that don't have like birth that can like kids that could like walk and feed themselves?
Is that a question?
That's my question for God. But if you had one thing when it comes to just the middle school stage right now, because you have a middle schooler and you have had a middle schooler now in high school,
Right.
what is one thing that you want these students to know as they walk through middle school?
I think that who they are is not who other people say they are. It's who God says they are. It takes a little while to figure that out, and most of us are still trying to figure it out. But I think we too often let other people tell us who we are.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Heather, you're an incredible leader. I love having her on the team. Thank you for letting me like poke fun of you a little bit, but in all seriousness, guys, Heather is awesome, and we are so lucky to have her here today. So give her a round of applause right now where you are. She's walking out, I think. There you go. Right.
That was fantastic. You guys are way better than the first service. They didn't cheer for me hardly at all. Raise your hand if you are your parents' favorite kid. I am for sure my parents' favorite kid. I know I said Brady was my favorite kid, but that's because it's true. I am the parent of a middle school and a high school student. Those two guys over there are fighting. Are you guys related? Oh, okay, that makes sense. All right, you're both a favorite. We'll settle this after. Yeah, I'm my parents' favorite kid. That's something you should know about me. I also have 2 students. One's in high school, one's in middle school. You heard me mention that before. And I have about 13-ish minutes to tell you something I really think that you need to hear. So, because I know sometimes 13 minutes seems like a short amount of time, I also know sometimes it's a really long amount of time if you have a short attention span. That's not everybody in here, but that's definitely some of you. Raise your hand if you have a short attention span. Some of you aren't raising your hand because you're not paying attention already. When I today say the word bold, I'm going to say it a lot. What I want you to do is I want you to just like roller coaster, lift your arms, do the wave. Let's practice. Do it now. Bold. All right. Online. I want you to type in the chat every single time we say the word bold in this room. I want you to type the word bold, like to the point of potentially being annoying. I don't know. You're never annoying. Online world. Laughter from the front row about that. So I want you to interact with me. I'm going to try not to slip on this plastic up here. We are in a series about being bold. Oh, we have sound effects as well. Awesome. We're in a series about being bold. We have learned already about bold faith. Bold faith. Anybody? I got to remember not to say bold. It's the kind of faith that forces you to act. I cannot help but want to do something with it. I feel compelled to want to do something. We also learned about bold joy, which is the kind of joy. No, wrong. Nope, not joy. Only when we say bold. All right. Hope you're getting this online. Hope you're enjoying that. Joy is the kind of joy, it's kind of the happiness that you choose, no matter what your circumstances are. And we've also learned about what it means to be a bold friend, which means I'm the kind of friend who's going to tell you what you really need to hear, even though you might not always like it. Well, today we're going to learn about something called bold humility. Now, humility is one of those bigger words that doesn't really come up a lot maybe in our conversations, but it's an important word for you to know and to understand, and you're old enough to know and understand it. It doesn't often come connected to the word bold. In fact, a lot of times we see those things as opposites, and it's because we have a mistaken idea about what humility is. We think humility might mean weak or quiet. We think of our shy friends. We think of the ones who don't speak up too much. And then when we think about bold, like this sweatshirt that I put on today, we think, I want to get noticed. We think of different friends, maybe these people down here who cannot help themselves when I say bold. Yes, that's what we think of. And in our culture right now, we associate boldness with getting noticed, with being seen. In the social media world, it means we have more likes maybe than everybody else. We measure our viewers. And you know what? There's no exception. It's not just you guys that get caught up in that a bit. We get caught up in it too, even us old folks. Just the other day, someone sent me a funny picture of a dog. And next thing you know, this is it. It might not make you laugh. Okay, it was funny to me. It's fine. When your human says, who's a good boy? And you already know it's you. I have a dog. I thought that was funny. So I sat down. I started looking at more. I landed here. I want you to tell me what that is. Online, what is that? Is that a rabbit? Is that a mouse? Is that a cat with a haircut? What is that? And then I went here. It just keeps getting cuter after this. Give me a dog with a monkey. I know, right? Look at that. That's a bold friend. What happened, front row? All right, bold friendship. And then last of all, this one. I'm not going to lie. I was almost late for work watching those videos. I looked up and it was time to go. We can get caught up in that. And that video, by the way, had a ton of views, tons, because it's adorable. That's not anything to do with what it means to be humble. It's definitely not anything that has to do with being boldly humble. So how can we figure out what that's supposed to mean? Well, you've been in Philippians all month, and we're going to stay there. Now, if you're not familiar with the Bible, it can feel like, gosh, this is a really big book with a lot of stuff in it. Those are a lot of words. Well, some of it makes a ton of sense. Philippians is actually a letter written to a group of people called the Philippians. All right. Yes, I know. Crazy. Written by a guy named Paul, who was a super smart guy, very well respected. And he writes a letter to the Philippians, and he knows that they have the same question. What does it mean to be humble? And they need to hear it. So in Philippians chapter 2, verses 3-4, he gives us a definition of humility. And I'm going to read it to you from here. It says, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others. So the opposite of what we've been talking about. Be humble, thinking of others as better than yourselves. Don't look out only for your own interest, but take an interest in others too. So, don't be what? Online, don't be what? No, don't be selfish. Don't try to impress others, but in contrast to that, be humble. What he's trying to say here is humility is not necessarily thinking less of yourself. You guys still with me? It's not just being quiet. It has nothing to do with being weak or being afraid or being scared. It means instead of thinking about myself all the time, I think about others. Here's the first definition of humility I'm going to give you. Basic humility 101. Humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. Don't spend time beating yourself up. But then what we can do is we can get caught up in that too, right? That's celebrated. People who do that, we like being around those kind of people, and we want to be liked for those reasons. So we spend some time trying to get really good at that, really good at being humble, being better at doing that. And what ends up happening is we create this fake humility. It's called fumility. Let me give you an example. Let me take a volunteer from the crowd. I'm going to take from the back row, somebody who I haven't heard from, Tie-Dye. Come on up here, Tie-Dye. Yeah, cheer it. Give it up for Tie-Dye. Tie-Dye, what's your real name? This is Matthew. Matthew, thank you for coming up. All right, Matthew, I would love for you just to take this ball and just to toss it up and down. Oh, man. Okay, all right, this is going to go well. This is going to go well. All right, everybody cheer for Matthew. Okay, come on over. Up and down a couple more times. All right, now we're going to make this a little bit more complicated. I'm going to hand you a sweet potato. Now, will you toss the ball up and down while holding the sweet potato? Great. Awesome. I'm going to give you another sweet potato. You can just, just right there. There you go. You got it. Nice. Give it up for Matthew. All right, Matthew, you're done. Well, this is random, right? Yeah, in my house, we have something we call doing things with things. It's when we're trying to do one thing and we make it harder on ourselves because we just won't set something down. I have a kid who does that a lot. He might be watching right now. Things with things, it's when we exhaust ourselves trying to do something very simple and we make it hard. That's what it's like with us and humility and the impression that we try to make for everyone else, on ourselves. But Paul, that smart guy we were talking about a minute ago, helps us understand, what does it really look like to be humble? How do we do that then? How do we keep from wearing ourselves out? Go into Philippians 3, verses 3 through 6. He says, we rely on what Christ has done for us. We put no confidence in human effort, though I could have confidence. Who's I here? Who's talking? Paul, thank you. Yes, Paul is talking. Yeah, I could have confidence in my own effort if anyone could. Indeed, if others have reason for confidence in their own efforts, I have even more. Now, that doesn't sound very humble, but it definitely does sound bold. Yes, thank you. You're back. Yes, he's very bold because he is super confident. I don't want you to be confused here. God doesn't say we can't be confident. God doesn't say that we shouldn't assert ourselves, that we shouldn't boldly walk into the world each day. Instead, what he says is that we should not try to be good enough on our own. Who should we rely on? We should rely on God. That's right. That's right. Confidence is agreeing with God about who he says you are. This is another example of humility, agreeing with God about who he says you are. It's not confidence is the problem. It's us. It's focusing on ourselves rather than relying on God. So here's what I want you to know. Here's what I want you to know. Come back. Bold. Thank you. Here's what I want you to know. Here's what I want you to know online, especially those of you who are online, because you're probably doing a lot of things online. It's actually okay for you to be an influencer. You are an influencer. You are. You have influence on someone, whether it's yourself or a friend. It's okay for you to be an influencer. It's okay for you to want people to follow you. Maybe you have a role in life that actually has people naturally following you. Maybe you're the quarterback of a team. Maybe you do something really awesome that everyone loves and thinks is funny. Maybe you just have a lot of followers online in general. It's okay for you to have that kind of influence. It's what you do with it that matters. It is your bold faith plus your bold humility combined together that you are to use not to influence for people to like you, but to give him attention, to give God attention, to increase the followers for him and to increase his influence, and his kingdom. That's what it is that we're trying to do. Your bold faith plus your bold humility can make you a very bold friend. Because here's the ultimate thing that you can do, and this is the last main point I'm going to give you. The ultimate thing that you can do is to better someone else's life by introducing them to Jesus. To better someone else's life by helping them to know they don't have to rely on their own strength. To better someone else's life by helping them know they don't have to get a lot of followers to be worth something. They don't have to get views to be noticed. They don't have to achieve certain things or be a certain person or wear a certain thing to belong. The best thing that you can do, the way that you can lift your friends up and help their lives be better, is by introducing them to Jesus and the confidence that they can have in him. Now, I would guess that those of you watching online and those of you in this room right now all fall into 3 groups. So I want you to listen closely and figure out which one of these 3 groups are you in. Number 1, maybe you don't have a relationship with Jesus at all. You're just kind of hearing about this. You've walked into church. Someone brought you here. Maybe a good friend invited you to come here, and you don't have that relationship with Jesus. And you're sitting there wondering, what would that be like if I didn't have to depend on myself for my own strength? If I wasn't trying on my own to get better all the time, what would that be like? Maybe that's you. Maybe that's your world right now. I would encourage you to take that step of faith today, to talk to somebody here about what it means to start a brand new relationship with Jesus, and let that be your act of boldness today. Yeah, woo is right. Maybe you're in here and you do have a relationship with Jesus and you are all caught up and struggling with trying to get it right all the time and you just can't do it and you're beating yourself up. That won't go away. You need Jesus in your life to be able to help you, and you're going to have to rely on him. Maybe you need to talk to a leader or a friend today about that. If that's you in the chat, reach out even in the chat and say, I want to talk to somebody about that. I'm trying to rely too much on myself. Or maybe your bold step that you need to take today is ownership of your faith. Maybe you need to own your faith so you can pass it on. Maybe you need to take the step of getting in someone's life and being that friend who says to them, hey, I see you struggling. I want to come alongside you and help. I want you to know you don't have to do this on your own. I'm here, but more importantly, Jesus is here. Maybe that's you. You are an influencer, and you do have the ability to be able to change someone's life for the better. It's all about whether or not you believe that's true and you decide to own it. You're not too young for that. And you definitely have people that you have influence over, starting with yourself. I'm going to pray for you. I'm going to let you go to small groups so you can talk about that some more with your leaders. God, thank you so much for this group today. Thank you for this room. Thank you for our friends who are watching online. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be reminded that we don't have to rely on ourselves because we have you. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be reminded that you gave us the ultimate example of humility by giving your life for us, by making sure that we knew that we were worth dying for, God. I pray that every single student in this room, if they haven't heard that message before, that they would hear it and they would own it as they leave this room today, God, as they log off their computer and go into small group, God. I pray that if they've heard it before and it's just gotten kind of tired and rusty, that you would freshen it. That you would help their spirit know that the thing that they're craving, that the thing that they're trying to grow in is really not depending on their own strength, but needing yours, Lord. I just pray that you would lead them there. And God, if there are students in this room right now who know that they know people who need to hear this truth, God, I pray you would give them the courage to share it. I pray that you would help them be able to seek those friends out and to go after them and say, hey, I know something that you need, and I want to come alongside you and help make you better. God, we thank you for who you are. We thank you for your son. Thank you for our leaders who are here today to lead these students into a closer relationship with you. In your name, amen. All right.
Give it up for Heather. She's already gone. All right. Thank you guys all for coming today. It was really fun, and I'm glad you were able to come and hear her whole spiel. But right now, we're going to break off into groups. And if you are online, you're going to go into your Zoom breakout. So I'll give you guys a second to do that.
Part of our Sunday experience, small groups. See, small groups are a great place for you to connect with friends, other middle school students, some awesome leaders, and have meaningful discussion around today's topic and how it applies to your life. We want everyone to have a place where they're known, can share, can connect, and can grow in Jesus. With COVID and social distancing, it can be easy to feel alone and isolated. But that's why you should come connect with us in small groups. We have them every weekend at all of Hope's campuses, as well as virtually on Zoom for those who can't make it in real life. Now, if you've been around for a while, you can go ahead and follow the Zoom link you received when you registered for small groups. But if this is your first time, that's great. All you have to do is just follow the link in the description of this video and follow the steps to sign up for online small groups. Thank you so much for joining us today, and we'll see you over on Zoom, like right now. So go.